Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell says
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell
has told President Obama
has vowed to block.
He is the most obstructionist, bill blockinist.
said it would be a waste
To many, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is the face of obstruction.
Well, Common Cause used to call me Darth Vader. Look, I think...
Does that ever bother you?
No, it doesn't, because I think...
not?
let me tell you why. I think you have to accept the fact that you can't make everybody happy.
Liberals think he made clear his intention to block the president's agenda in 2010 when he told a reporter, "The single most important thing we want to achieve is for President Obama to be a one-term president." But there was a second part after that sentence.
Which was that in the meantime, we needed to see what we could do together and make some progress for the country.
So the back half of that got cut off.
Which was neatly snipped off by my political opponents, which is understandable, but the people who would call me an obstructionist overlook some inconvenient facts.
Just ask his conservative Tea Party opponents.
They think I'm an Obama enabler or something.
An Obama enabler.
The Senate Majority Leader responds to his critics in his first book, The Long Game.
How'd you come up with the title?
Well, first of all, I've been around a while. And second, it took me a long time to get to where I had hoped to get. You know, for most of us, success is the long road.
That road has taken Mitch McConnell a long way from rural Alabama, where he was born, and at age 2, stricken with polio. While his father was serving in World War II, McConnell's mother drove him to Warm Springs, Georgia, the polio treatment facility established by President Franklin Roosevelt. After 2 years, the nurses told McConnell's mother her son would walk without a brace. He'd have a normal life. Then, at 13, McConnell moved to Louisville.
But does it feel the same?
Well, it looks very similar, and it was very intimidating to me.
And 3 years later, he was an underdog for Student Council president, trying to outmaneuver his opponents.
So
I would slide the pamphlets through here. I said, join us and vote for Mitch McConnell for president, and it would list the football players and the basketball players and the cheerleaders and the homecoming queens, all of them that I'd lined up to endorse me.
But wait, how did you get the most popular, prominent kids in the school to endorse? You asked them.
He won, and McConnell, a pack rat, saved his mementos from that race and every other throughout his nearly 40 years in elected office.
And switch to Mitch for senator.
Much of it is on display at his alma mater, the University of Louisville, which houses his papers and those of his wife, Elaine Chao, Labor Secretary under George W. Bush. The longtime Washington power couple now spends most weekends in Kentucky, a far cry from their first date, suggested by a mutual friend.
I just got this call, I think, out of the blue from Mitch's assistant.
From his assistant?
I think my assistant answered back to his assistant, and that's how the first date was set up.
With your assistant?
And it literally was a blind date, because I'd never seen her before.
A divorced father of 3, McConnell married Chao in 1993 on Ronald Reagan's birthday.
Well, before he was leader, he actually cooked. So he's actually a wonderful husband.
Oh,
I call him my low-maintenance husband.
On the campaign trail, her warmth contrasts with McConnell's wonkier side. An immigrant from China, Chao came to the United States when she was 8 years old.
I was a child when my father went ahead to make a life for us in America.
Chao spoke about her immigrant experience at the 2000 Republican convention. But when asked about this year's presumptive Republican nominee, she firmly avoids the question.
Well, this is not a campaign. This is not a film about me, so.
And when you sit down with McConnell, he's hardly more forthcoming on the subject of Donald Trump.
You think Donald Trump can win?
I do.
Are you going to support him?
I am.
Does it cause you pause when you think about how divided this country is and how he is causing such division? I mean, Republicans in your party are burning their voter registration cards. They're saying never Trump.
Well, one thing I'm pretty calm about is that this is nowhere near the most divisive period in American history. But what protects us in this country against big mistakes being made is the structure, the Constitution, the institutions. No matter how unusual a personality may be who gets elected, to office. There are constraints in this country. You don't get to do anything you want to. So I'm very optimistic about America. I'm not depressed about the nature of the debate.
Since becoming majority leader in 2015, McConnell struck deals with the administration on major transportation, education, and cybersecurity bills. He has warm words for Joe Biden, but says the president can be a challenge.
I admire his intellect. It is a little bit grating to kind of, be lectured to. And I've heard this complaint from Democrats as well. This is not a partisan observation. I pretty much know what he thinks, and he ought to know what I think. I'm pretty much interested in how we figure the way forward rather than listening to a rather extensive discussion of his views.
There's one area where McConnell will not budge: Merrick Garland's nomination to replace Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia.
No wavering on that.
None.
Merrick Garland will be on the Supreme Court if Hillary Clinton wins and she renominates him.
Well, if he's on the Supreme Court, he'll be nominated by the next president.
Regardless of what happens in the November election, the 74-year-old McConnell has made it clear he's playing the long game.
America's a land of second opportunities. Everybody has barriers to overcome, some more than others. So I don't want to act like I'm all that unique. America's full of stories like mine. This is a special country with enormous opportunity for those who don't quit.